Hello, everybody. It's my privilege to introduce to you, all the way from the south side of Chicago, the man, the myth, the legend, my Theo, your brother, the South Side Unicorn.
Hey, it's Ken White, host of the Southside Unicorn Show. That was Prince with the Power Generation. He said, we want to change the world, and the only thing that's in our way is you. That's right. You in the damn way of the progressives. You in the damn way of the millennials. You're in the damn way of those socialists who keep telling us time and time again they just want to transform America. Well, to hell with you. This is America. It was founded for the free and the brave. I happen to be one of those. My children happen to be those, and their children's too. So this is our house. Whose house? Our house. But you know, normally on Fridays, which is Funked Up Fridays, we try to keep it upbeat and da-da-da-da. I hope that I still achieve that while talking about something that has to be talked about. Look at here. I didn't make this world. I just live in it. I didn't make this game. I just play it. And this week, it's been pretty funked up. So we just gonna discuss the issues that were laid on the table, shall we? You know, it's been laid on the table more than almost anything at all this week. Death. That's right, death. So we're going to find a way to discuss it without getting all, dystopic, and downplay. We're going to talk about death, y'all. We're going to discuss it in all its different ways so that we get a better understanding of what it is. Because if we don't understand what it is, we just might fear it. Are we supposed to fear death? Yeah, I guess in a way it's like a natural reaction, to fear the unknown, for whose borders no man has returned, except for Jesus Christ. Except for Jesus Christ. Are we supposed to fear death? Well, we're going to explore it. We're going to touch on it in every segment, in every different way. And I hope you stay with me while we go through it, because as you always do with the Southside Unicorn Show, you're going to learn. You're going to learn something. So why don't you just get your favorite beverage? You know how I feel about that. It don't matter what it is. It can be Kool-Aid. I would prefer you not use Kool-Aid, and don't sip it either. But it can be whatever you want. Get yourself together. Get yourself relaxed. We're going to spend this hour together like we always do. And I want to thank you for being here with me. We may as well get started. We got a special guest here today. A guest is Siri. Everybody's probably got one. Siri, Alexa, whatever. And because I use that word a lot, I changed the name of mine. I changed it to, and I got to say it low so it doesn't activate, computer. And so we got a quick momentary appearance by computer. Stand by while I ask computer a question, okay? Computer, definition of death.
Death is usually defined as the act of dying, the end of life, the total and permanent cessation of all the vital functions of an organism. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for death.
Wow, you mean there's more? Computer, more definitions of death.
I have 10 more definitions for the noun, death. 1. An instance of this. 2. The state of being dead. 3. Extinction, destruction. 4. Manner of dying. 5. The agent of death personified, usually represented as a man or a skeleton carrying a scythe. 6. Loss or absence of spiritual life. 7. The false belief that life comes to an end. 8. Bloodshed or murder. 9. A cause or occasion of death. 10. Pestilence, plague.
I hope you were paying attention. See, back in the day, when computers were programmed, we used to use a language called Kobo. But no matter what language they use, no matter how advanced they get, chocolate bar, cookie, whatever you want to call it, they still got to use zeros and ones because the very idea of a computer is simply binary. It's simply binary. It is either a yes or a no. That's logic. Logic is what drives a computer. Now, I just played you something. And man, okay, fine. I'm going to go ahead and drop you a slight primer. You need to pay attention to answer number 1, 6, 7, and 10. Those are the truths for the answer that Siri or Alexa uses to answer you when it comes down to death. And actually, number 1 should scare the hell out of you. Because it says, death is this. That is the primer of time. That's the clock that's running that keeps all the answers true, contemporaries to a stack and a pile. It said the first answer, death is this. Well, in 2020, May 8th, what is this? Oh, it's COVID. Oh, it's the Congress trying to run amok on the Senate. It's all kind of stuff. But to a computer that has to keep a running clock, it can only answer death as this. So now if your brain can't keep up, go ahead and turn the channel. Go ahead and click off right now, because you're not going to be able to handle what's coming next. Don't you understand yet? Go look at my Facebook. Go look at my Twitter. Go look at my Instagram. There are energies, there are personnel from those organizations that are doing everything in their power to make sure my voice is squashed. It's not because I'm full of BS. It's not because I'm misleading you. If I didn't matter, if I was just another quack or whatever you want to call it that was out there with a microphone, they could give a damn about me. Kenny White is catching hell because the system, the network, is trying to make sure that you don't hear what I'm trying to tell you. Now, you want to get sci-fi, you want to get dystopic, you think you know Q? You better start listening, because I ain't been wrong yet. Go back and look at my entire page. I got a friend, and he really is my friend. His name is Mo Kelly. We've been going back and forth for 3 years over what's going on with President Donald J. Trump. You show me where I wavered. You show me where I backpedaled. You show me where I had a doubt. Every time people came at me, every time they laughed at me, every time they tried to small me, I stood my ground. Now today, General Flynn is walking on sunshine. Adam Schiff is shifting his eyes all over the place. Go back and listen to my show titled, What Did He Say? Part 1 and Part 2. I told you what was going on. Go back and look at my Twitter. When I warned the president 5 days before he came out with, my God, I think they're bugging me, I told him they were. Now we're going to talk about death just a little bit. Why? Because it's a control hold. Because it's a stronghold. Because it's what the Democrats are using on you. Because I say you, because my fellow believers and Christians out there, you know I'm not talking about you. Why? Because our Lord God did not give us a spirit of fear. Ha ha! Whoo! Like Dr. King said, mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. What man would you fear once you've seen God? What man would you fear when the Holy Spirit touches you at night and says, Kenny, I need you to open your mouth and speak these things? Didn't I tell you last year, correction? Didn't the Holy Spirit put it inside of me to tell to you last year in 2019, enjoy your winter, enjoy your fall of 2019? Because come the year 2020, that's all you get. You've seen enough. See, we're children, and we always expect God to play with us because we're children. But there comes a time when your daddy and your mama, whoever your parent is, gets tired of playing, and they understand that you got to move on to other things. They try to tell us to get ready for the new normal, while the other half says, I want to go back to normal. Well, we got to talk about death in order for you to understand the two paradigms of those two statements. Is this our new normal? And if it is, what is that? Should we go back to what we considered normal? And if we do, what will that mean? Well, I hope you ride it out with me, y'all. And let's have a conversation, shall we? But when we go for this next station break that's coming up, because I made myself a promise, I ain't missing no station breaks this year. I need all the money I can get. You want to do some donations? You go on my Twitter page at KenWhite4444 or go to my PayPal me, which is paypal.me/KenWhite4444. Gotta make those chips, especially in the era of COVID. The only help I get comes from the Lord and the believers at this point. So I gotta take this station break, okay? And when I do, when we come back, we're gonna get knee deep into some serious conversation. So go nowhere while we take this station break.
Listening to the Southside Unicorn Show, hosted by my friend, Ken White. He'll be back after these messages.
It should be no or sin if it is according to the skin on it. Skin on it.
Hey, we're back. And this is Ken White, host of the Southside Unicorn Show, and we're in the second segment. And today is Funked Up Fridays, but the title of the show is Dead is Dead. Now, I titled the show that for a reason. I'm trying to figure out how dead is more dead, or deader, or deaderer, or deadest. You know, if you happen to be white, or black, or Latino, or Asian, you know, because we got all those mixes laid out when you consider COVID-19 and other factors and other issues. So I was just sitting here and I'm like, who's deader when you die? If you pulled up, you know, 4 bodies, a black man, a white man, an Asian man, a Latino man, let's make it 5, and an Indian man, let's make it 6. Both Indians. If you pull them all up and pull the worms off their bodies and ask them, who tastes better? which one of these 6 men tastes the best? The worms would answer you back and say, leave me alone, I'm eating. Dead is dead, y'all. Those of us on top of the earth keep messing with a very simple concept. When you're gone, you're gone. I think about King David when he was, praying over his child. While his chest kept heaving in and heaving out, trying to get that breath. Oh, he was about it. He was praying. He was doing everything he could. But when that child breathed his last, he said, I'm done. There's nothing more I can do here. Got himself washed up, put on some new clothes, and went on about it. Why? Because dead is dead, y'all. I keep saying that because I want you to get something out of it. I keep saying that because there's something in it. Those of us who are still alive. Why do we worry about the category, the vehicle, the transmission, the modality, the reason, the causation of death? Why is that so important when dead is dead? Now, as we go on throughout today's show, we're going to talk about a lot of different people who have unfortunately passed away. Most of them by violent means. See, that's the modality for their transition. It was through violence. Now, whether it be old people that the mayor and the governor of New York put inside of hospitals, they were probably clutching the sides of their ambulatory beds as they hauled them inside of retirement homes, of elderly homes where they knew death was awaiting them because of COVID. We knew that the majority of deaths were occurring inside of hospitals, inside of places where people were stagnant. And a governor and a mayor who kept constantly chastising the president sent people into a place where it was reasonable to understand or expect that death would occur. Is that an error and an omission, or is that murder? Because it still resulted in the ultimate end, which is death. Now we're going to talk about Ahmaud Arbery. We're going to talk about Calvin James Moonalerin. His name is a tongue twister, and I am sorry he's gone. We're going to go ahead and just start on my man Calvin. Calvin James Moonalerin. Moonalerin is spelled Munerlyn. Calvin James Moonalerin. This young man was a security guard working at a department store, basically like a Kmart or a Walmart. There's a thing called orders and instructions. Most security firms that consider themselves having their act together will have an operations and instructions manual. And that security officer is expected to follow the rules, the instructions inside that manual. Well, since we got this big issue about the mask, and I said it on another show and I'll say it again. I'm sick and tired of you felony brave uber machos that want to make an issue over a mask. When you have power, when you have the ability to dispatch a man, a mask ain't gonna make no difference to you. You're going to put that mask on and just deal with it. Are you going to wear it all the time? Of course not. I don't. When I'm in my car, I'm not wearing no mask. When I'm in places where there's nobody around, there ain't no mask on my face, even though I drive by people who have a mask on their face. I got friends that I love and respect dearly who are all in a ruckus about this mask. I've learned my lesson because the Holy Spirit is never done with any of us. I say it only now, and that's because I should have said it last week when it happened, but I was trying to just let it go by. I was in a neighborhood, in my community, that I've lived in for over 25 years, playing Pokemon. And as I sat there playing Pokemon, some cat rolled up to me in his truck, motioned for me to roll my window down, and I did. And he asked me, "What are you doing here?" He asked me a question, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "I'm next to a church," because as you all know, Pokemon operates mainly off of churches and public buildings and stuff like that, and they got some really good deals going on now, free gifts and all that for a coin, and But I answered him. I said, "I'm here playing Pokemon, and because it's in front of a church, you really shouldn't have a problem." "Well, that's just not usual. That's not what normally goes on around here." And at that point, he upset me, or I allowed myself to be upset. And I told him, "Look, I answered your questions. I told you what you wanted to know. I'm here playing Pokemon. If I was here doing, well, yeah, we got kids around here, man." I'm like, "Look, I'm a father too. I got kids. Now, why don't you go ahead and get over yourself and get out of here?" "Oh, no, not him. He wants to grab the doorknob of my car." And in doing so, we get into a bit of a conversation, if you know what I mean, and I lost my wallet. I got to declare everything gone. Holy Spirit got all over me and was like, "Kenny, you keep trying to fight in the flesh when you need to just go ahead and fight in the spirit. Why didn't you just start your car and leave?" We are all in a tizzy out here because that's exactly what the enemy wants. That's exactly what's going on with this shelter, in place, and we're not going to let you do this, and you got to wear the mask, and you don't care about life. We are being clowned and cajoled so much that a young man who simply asked a woman to put a mask on, she became so offended, she went home and got her husband, her son, and went back to that location. And they murdered a man in cold blood, shot him in the head. And then the daughter tried to help cover it up, wiping off messages on her phone, lying to the police. The dad and the son are on the run. I know somewhere in there, they had to be thinking, what did we just do? Because we're all being controlled. We're being fooled. We're being led astray by the dark one and those who listen to and follow him. So now, Calvin James Moonerlin, please forgive me, it's a tongue twisting name, but I'm going to say it. He's gone. He's dead. You know who else is dead? A young lady, ironically, in this same timeline, almost 25 years ago. And I swore to never forget her name, and I will not forget her name. Her name is Latasha Harlan. Latashaharlan. Latasha Harlan. She was born on the 14th of July, 1975. She was murdered on the 16th of March, 1991. 2 months ago, if she were still alive, she'd be 34 years old. But see, she lost her life over a bottle of orange juice in Los Angeles. Because Soon Ja-Du, no relation to Kim Jong-un, thought she was stealing a bottle of orange juice and blew the back of her head off. When she went to the Los Angeles courts, the Democrat stronghold, the place where the village exists, where everybody matters, right? All she was required to pay, Sue Ja-Du, was the cost of the funeral. That's what the judge took the license to instruct. See, these Democrat judges are a hot mess because they're not operating from the Constitution, where Latasha Harlan was deprived of life and liberty once dispatched. No. All that judge told that woman she had to pay was the cost of the funeral. And so you can go from that day to this one and in between and all that. And there's a whole lot of black people that are dead. They were dead yesterday. They're going to be dead tomorrow. They're dead right now. And all you care about, because you're still alive, is the modality, is the why and the how they die. It's not that simple. I wished it were. The reason people are dying is a lot more complex than just their color. It's a lot more complex than shoplifting or giving a woman instructions about putting on a mask on her child. If the modalities, the reasons and stuff for death were that easy, you wouldn't even need the police. You could just go, oh, there it is. The reason people are leaving this earth right now and in the past is for something far more serious than sometimes we would dare to try to touch. But we gonna touch on it. Oh yeah, we gonna talk about it because we need to. We better understand all the different machineries and machinations of death because there's gonna be a lot of it happening if we don't. Do I want to die? No. Do you want to die? I'm pretty sure your answer is gonna be no. Did you want any of your loved ones to die? I'm pretty sure the answer is going to be no. Just like I didn't want any of mine to die. And trust me, sadly, I've lost a lot. I've lost a lot of people that I love and that loved me, and they're gone. From different modalities. Some of them from the same modality. Illegal aliens. What are the odds that I'm one of the few people on this planet who has two people in my life who lost their life to illegal aliens in two separate situations on two separate dates? Oh, it happened. I got two loved ones. Well, one, yeah, okay, it's a loved one too. I gotta just keep that real. I lost two loved ones to Islamic terrorism, radical Islam. One was my son. The other was a friend on two separate dates in two separate locations. Huh? Are you kidding me? And here we are getting all caught up on death and why and this and that. Well, especially for the African American community. You better let that one go. Especially if you're trying to hang debts on a person being black. Oh, he died because it was a white man that killed him and he was black. If that's the best you can do to add anything to the issue or the conversation of death, you need to go ahead and just shut up. Because that's not always the case, and it would surprise you to find out how that situation works when you start counting the beans. We'll count the beans and all that stuff when we get back. This is Ken White, host of the Southside Unicorn Show. We're going for a station break. Go nowhere. We'll be right back after these messages.
Yes, sir.
Hey, this is Josh from Art Trio. And go check me out on YouTube. I discuss 3 topics 3 times a week. You are listening to my friend Ken White on the Southside Unicorn Show. Let's go.
Hey, it's Ken White, host of the Southside Unicorn Show, and we are back for the third segment. Now, I want to go back and grab a little bit more off of that Latasha Harlan situation. Now, this was a 14-year-old girl. It was a bottle of orange juice. Padow! She got shot in the back of the head. Now, did you know that just years before that, her own mother was murdered in a nightclub, shot to death? Huh? That's right. So we're going to talk about death. We're going to look at death. We need to start trying to figure out one common thread through all of it. And it's not the black factor. It's not the fact that the majority of young black men who lose their lives at the hands of other black men. It's not the fact that when it comes to interracial violence, blacks are 2 times more likely to harm somebody outside their race than, say, white people are? And yet we allegedly make up 13% of the population? No, no, no. Don't get caught up on that, because that's not the point. That's right. I heard it. You're starting to think. You're starting to ask, what is Kenny trying to get to? Where is he going with this? Stay true. We still got some more to go. Okay? Now, we talked about Calvin James. You know, being a former security chief myself, being a member of the military law enforcement, civilian law enforcement, the security community. As a security chief, one of the greatest fears of my life, or concerns, should I say, was that one of my people would be murdered or killed out there in the line of duty. Because don't play it short. Security officers have a line of duty too. Just go back to 9/11 and look at some of the people who saved lives that day. They were security officers. So stop selling security short, if you please. I think about Latasha Harlan. I think about her mother. Oh, what a sad situation. Her mother died years before her, slain in a bar to gunshots. And then her daughter leaves the same way. Then Calvin James Munerlin leaves the same way. And let's not leave out my man. We're going to talk about him. But before we talk about him, I want to start setting the idea of what I'm talking about. I think it's time for me to do that. It's only fair to you. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and play a track. I want you to enjoy the track, listen to the track, because it's a learning track, okay, y'all? This is where you're supposed to draw closer to your radio, your phone, your computer, whatever you're doing, get closer, because I'm about to send something your way. Take a listen to this, y'all.
I want to tell you a story. I'm going to ask you all to close your eyes while I tell you this story. I want you to listen to me. I want you to listen to yourselves. Go ahead. Close your eyes, please. This is a story about a little girl walking home from the grocery store one sunny afternoon. I want you to picture this little girl. Suddenly a truck races up. Two men jump out and grab her. They drag her into a nearby field. And they tie her up. And they rip her clothes from her body. Now they climb on. First one, then the other. Raping her. Shattering everything innocent and pure. Vicious thrust. A fog of drunken breath and sweat. And when they're done, after they've killed her tiny womb, murdered any chance for her to bear children, to have life beyond her own, they decide to use her for target practice. So they start throwing full beer cans at her. They throw them so hard that it tears the flesh all the way to her bones.
Blood on the leaves and blood at the
And they urinate on her.
black body swinging
Now comes the hanging.
in the southern breeze.
They have a rope
Strand
and tie a noose.
hanging
Imagine the noose going tight around her neck.
the trees.
Sudden blinding jerk. She's pulled into the air and her feet and legs go kicking if they don't find the ground. The hanging branch isn't strong enough. It snaps and she falls back to the earth. They pick her up, throw in the back of the truck, drive out to Foggy Creek Bridge, hitch her over the edge. She drops some 30 feet down to the creek bottom below.
Then a sudden smell
Can you see her?
of burning flesh.
Her raped,
Here's a
broken body,
for the crows
soaked in their urine,
to pluck,
soaked in their semen,
for the rain to
soaked in her blood, left to die.
for the wind to suck,
Can you see her?
for the sun to rot,
I want you to picture
for the tree
little girl
to drop. Here's a strange and bitter
Now imagine she's white.
Now imagine she's white. You all have seen the movie A Time to Kill. I've always said, and I'll probably say a whole lot more, going into the future, this very same maxim of mine. Does life imitate art, or does art imitate life? Because here you got a young man jogging down the street. Okay, the gender changed, Now it's a young black male and not a black female. Now it's not a movie, it's real life. But that truck didn't change. That truck was still filled with two white males on the prowl. Now, I want to remove color from the issue. Why? Because it's oh so important. It's so important. A family member of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is desperately trying to make this about race. I had to answer her on my Twitter page at KenWhite4444. Go take a look. Now, Alveda King, Dr. Alveda King, she has a whole different perspective. We war in the spirit and not in the flesh. We don't worship a president. We worship God. That is her perspective. And in families, you can have two different perspectives from the same blood. But now Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, I want to be judged by the content of my character and not the color of my skin. Yes, it took them a while. This incident happened in February, and there were no charges laid to anybody. None. It came to light to all of us just a few days ago. Oh, there's so much to discuss when you want to ask, well, who took the video? Why did he sit on it? Well, if you're going to ask that question, you should ask it to Rahm Emanuel, the former mayor of Chicago, because he sat on a video too of a young black man being gunned down and filled with so many holes you never see it on an action movie. I never seen nothing like that in my life. Filled that poor boy with so many holes. And guess what? He's still dead too. So we must not, and that's whites and blacks, everybody. That's why I want to see a little bit more protesting coming from my white brothers and sisters too over this situation that happened. Because we need to make sure that Ahmaud Arbery, Arbery, Ahmaud Arbery is respected, protected, and honored for his humanity and not the color of his skin. It's very important, y'all. Because anybody who would roll up down the road and accost a young man. See, just like that scene from A Time to Kill, you heard it. I just played it for you. I mixed it in with a little bit of Billie Holiday. That's my own personal mix. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it made a message to you. Imagine it being a young blonde male, muscular, handsome, enjoying his life and saying, I want to get out of COVID right now. I need to stay healthy. I need to jog. You know, unlike the mayor of Chicago who tells everybody they cannot jog, you cannot be in the sunshine. My life, my life, my life, my life in the sunshine. Huh? So now it's a white boy trying to get some fresh air, some sunshine. Finally, probably been stuck in the house for God knows how long, and decided to just go out and get some air. Two white males roll up to him, accost him, struggle with him for no reason. It's none of their business why he's out on the street. This is America. And then they blast him with a shotgun. Somebody videotapes it, but nothing happens. Imagine that was a white boy. Or for that fact, even a Latino. It's for this reason, ladies and gentlemen, we must not mention race at all. You're the ones, you Democrats, you leftists, you socialists, you programmed idiots who are going to try to vote for Biden. You're the ones causing the problem because you want us to see this as race. Don't you understand it's more important that this be seen as a violation of a person's human rights and civil rights? Which one do you think gets more traction? Which one do you think matters the most? Which one do you think is going to carry into the future? And you better not say black. Because if that was true, long before this, and I'm talking about LeBum James too. This brother, Ahmaud Arbery, died in February. I didn't hear nothing from LeBum James. This brother died in February. Granted, the information just came out, but I still ain't heard nothing from LeBum James. King James, ha. So it's incumbent upon all of us who are in this quote-unquote paint job of being black. You better get this one. You better stay away from the Democrat trap. You better make sure that we discuss and remember Ahmaud Arbery, Calvin James Moonerlyn. I'm so sorry about his last name. It's just difficult for me. Moonerlyn. Munerlyn. I do apologize. You better make sure we remember them as people and not a color. We'll be right back after these messages.
My name is Toot Sweet, and I'm New York City's original artist, singing for the cause of freedom. I've spent the last 10 years of my life documenting history through my music. It's like a recipe that's blessing me, bringing out the best of me, aggressively testing me to create my own destiny and understanding, universally accepting adversity and learn more lessons in life than you'll learn in any. And when I'm in need of a dose of reality to escape the liberal land of make-believe, I tune in to the Southside Unicorn, where the truth is as solid as New York City concrete. My name is Toot Sweet, and you're listening to my friend Ken White on the Southside Unicorn, and this party's just getting started.
When I see a new broadcast from the Southside Unicorn, I can't wait to listen to it. You just never know what he's going to say.
Hey, it's Ken White. We're back for the fourth segment of the Southside Unicorn Show on Funked Up Fridays, which is titled Dead is Dead. There's a reason for that, ladies and gentlemen. There's a reason I keep saying that. You know, case in point, just like Pennsylvania Pennsylvania is going to extend their quarantine till June. Yet the average age of the people who are dying is 89 years old, ladies and gentlemen. 89 years old. They have very few deaths at all, and yet they're going to stay closed till June. This is about politics. This is about ideology. The deaths are deaths because they're dead. But these people are going to use those deaths to control us. Now, case in point, there's one situation where there are no deaths involved, but boy, does it highlight the situation. The situation between Sally Luther, the salon owner, and Judge Moy. This man could have come, watch this, I love Enter the Dragon. I love, all the little fight scenes and whatnot, and everybody that's in it. Like, Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly told the Han, Han, he said, man, you come straight out of a comic book. Well, that's the same place that Judge, Moyle comes out of. What the heck was that? If you but only kiss my ring, I am kind. That's like King Xerxes in the movie 300. He's sitting there telling homegirl, if you would just kiss my butt, if you'll just admit you're a lowly dirtbag, that you're selfish, if you'll do all of that, I have the power to set you free. Now that's a rough spot to be in, because this leftist, socialist, uber weirdo, he is in control. He had all the power that day. That is, unless you go with the maxim of greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, you know what I'm saying? They went all up in the fire. And when you looked in the fire, there was more than just them in there. This woman has taught us a lesson. Go on, get in that fire. Why? Because dead is dead. And using that as my, further point, Luke 17:33. It says, whoever tries to save his life will lose his life, will lose it. But whoever loses his life will preserve it. That woman was facing a tough situation. She was already broke. Didn't have no money. That's why she had to open up her salon. And this man is going to levy on her $7,000 and 7 days away from her work. Now watch the sadisticness of this man. Watch the evilness in it and what we must make sure doesn't gain a foothold. They were set to open up on Friday, but she was going to open up a little bit sooner because as a self-employed man who's literally dying on the vine too, trust me, every day matters. Every day you wake up and you're not grinding and hustling, you dying. You're dying. So in her heart, rather than watch her children and the people, because see, when you're a leader, man, I could do a whole show about that. But those of you with small businesses, those of you with stripes on your sleeve, those of you with bars on your shoulder, those of you with titles behind your name that really matter. You know what it's like to care about your people. If you're a real leader, you care about your people more than you care about yourself. I can't tell you back in my early days, in my lean days, how many times I'd sit there with the client checks I had versus the payroll I owed, and I said, I got to pay them before I pay me. There was not one time in my life, even when my money was short, that I paid myself first. It never happened. So there she is in front of a man who says, all you got to do is kiss my butt and I'll set you free. If she had kissed his butt, she wouldn't have been free. That would have haunted her all the days of her life. We're at war, y'all. And death will come. It's going to do its own thing no matter what we try to say, no matter what we try to do. It's going to find you one way or the other. The only trick of it is how, are you leaving on your terms or their terms? Like, for example, watch this. I love doing this kind of stuff, so I'm going to just go ahead and do it.
I can't help it, Morpheus. I can't help thinking, what if you're wrong? What if all this, the prophecy, everything is...
Then tomorrow we may all be dead. But how would that be different from any other day? This is a war, and we are soldiers. Death can come for us at any time, in any place.
Incoming.
Now consider the alternative. What if I am right? What if the prophecy is true? What if tomorrow the war could be over? Isn't that worth fighting for? Isn't that worth dying for?
Well, I'm going to ask you the question. Is that worth fighting for? Is that worth dying for? We got this COVID-19 here. It came from where? Who knows? Who cares? We can say it came from China. We can say it came from wherever. The bottom line is it's here. Now, in my local community, I have a grocery store. I've gone into that grocery store for years. And that's exactly where I got my start in radio, because I was opening my mouth inside that grocery store, and a person who is now my good friend said, "Hey, I need to talk to you." He's the man who set me down in front of a microphone at that very same grocery store. So the young people in there, they know me. Most of them listen to my show. You're probably listening right now. So thank you all. I love you. Thank you for the love that you show me when I come inside, But I'm going to talk about y'all for a minute. And why don't you come on the page and go ahead and verify that what I'm saying is the truth. That's how it's going to help other people get with the program. Last year, this exact same time, I told them we'd be wearing gas masks. My vision, the understanding I had was I saw gas masks, not just face masks. And it breaks my heart to see those beautiful young people. See, the same time last year, they just had on their glasses and smiles and their grocery store smocks and their black pants and their matching stuff. And they were just full of cheer and so happy. But now, and they're still happy because that's who they are. They're beautiful young people. But as we are doing our exchanges, they got these masks on. There's this big plastic divider between us. There's these little squares on the ground that says this close and not any closer. And it breaks my heart for them. It breaks my heart because I went to the rally in Redlands, California last week, and I saw so much American patriotism and love and strength and character. That's what makes this country great. I'm sorry, but you're going to have to just forgive me for a minute because I'm on one. It's not you people who came from God knows where else and you don't respect the Constitution. It's not those of you who were born here and all you can see is color and think that the white man's trying to hold you back. None of you count as Americans. I told those young people, I said, you know what? And I always talk in metaphor. I told them, I said, you got to look at it like Night of the Living Dead, like zombies. The zombies is the death of our nation. The zombie is the decay of human beings with no purpose, no cause. I said, now, please understand that our economy is the truck outside of the house that we're all sheltered in. That truck stalled out for some reason. Now somebody's got to go out there and jumpstart that truck. The zombies are gaining in numbers and the sun is setting. So I looked at those young people and I tried to make them understand. Listen to me. Listen to me. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to jumpstart that truck because you cannot stay in this house. You cannot shelter much longer. The sun is setting. I'm the oldest person in the house. Everybody else is young. And I'm talking about my beautiful young people over there at my local grocers. And now I'm being metaphoric about all young people. We who have lived a full life. Man, I've seen things and done things in my time on this earth some of you will never see. I've lived a good life. Would I like to live some more? Of course I would. I am a black diabetic that is overweight. COVID-19 is like a guided missile right towards me. And I still say, open up America. Let's jumpstart this truck so these kids can get out of here. So these kids can get away from these zombies who only see color, who only want to control and eat the flesh off of them. We have to go out to that truck, those of us over 55. And we got to work hard and fast to get this engine started. Our president is right. I think about it. I understand that going out there could kill me. But if I feared my life more than the love I have for this country and these young people, then we've lost already. China struck a death blow. They did not. They cannot. We will be victorious. We will make America great forever and ever until the Lord Jesus Christ returns. No man knows the hour or the day, and I refuse to act like somebody's got a stopwatch. So those of you, just like the beautiful woman Sally Luther, for trying to jumpstart the truck, God bless you. If my business wasn't a B2B business, where I literally need other businesses because I'm a vendor to those businesses, I would open up too. But I don't have anything to open up because I don't have any clients. But if I did have clients, I would open up right along next to Sally Luther. We got decisions to make, ladies and gentlemen. And I just want you to remember, dead is dead. No matter how you get there, no matter what vehicle you use or is used on you, it happens. Shouldn't we care enough for our children and our grandchildren to understand that we might have to be the ones to close the hatch? Okay, it's just like that movie, man, I'm trying to remember it, where they were up in the plane and he had to close the hatch. And, they said, we're not going to make it. And he looked at them and he said, you are. And he closed, executive decision. That's the name of the movie. And he closed the hatch. And soon after he closed the hatch, the area that he was in was absolutely vaporized. Sitting here worrying about ourselves is the trick. It's the primer. It's what they're hoping on. Because, see, they're selfish. And they know what can come from selfishness. That's why they're sitting in their homes up on hills made out of millions of dollars, showing us their $25 ice cream. Because they indeed are selfish. That judge let out a nice primer for us when he tried to call Sally selfish. That's how it's done. That's how they do it. They project onto us what is true about them. We're not selfish. We are men and women of God, and we need to start putting God first. We need to start putting our children first, again. We need to start putting the hopes of their children first, again. We need to get out there and jumpstart that truck, ladies and gentlemen. If we don't, our kids are going to have a rough road. All I can say is this, as I always say. Thank you for sharing this time with me. There's no place I'd rather be. Nothing more I'd rather do than being right here doing this show for you. This is Ken White, host of the Southside Unicorn Show, and we are out.
Basic respect, humanity. I'm just trying to be for real in a world with less of it. I'm so frustrated and flustered at what has been reduced to justice. It is a moral part of sin if it is according to the
The Democrats have been in Washington, D.C. only because of the Negro vote. They've been down there 4 years. And then all other legislation they wanted to bring up, they brought it up and got it out of the way, and now they bring up you. And now they bring up you. You put them first, and they put you last.